Hello. So we've had another change in MailerLite, and this time it's to automations. Now, I don't know about you, but I did not get a notification about it that I remember. Um, so I got a surprise when I was on a call with a client earlier, and we were doing some work on the automation, and I was like, hold on a minute, what is going on here? So I thought, what should I do? Come and tell you. So let me show you what's going on. So here we are on the automations tab. These are my workflows. So this is currently an inactive workflow. And what you'll see is different is we used to have a little toggle button that would take you from green to grey off, green on, and an overview button. Now we don't have that anymore. Instead, we have activate, so you can activate it directly from here in the same way that you used to. We have edit, and we have this drop down, which is view report, rename, duplicate. Edit will take you directly into the automation. If you want to look at the other things that are in the automation, that's under view report. So let's have a look at edit. So let's go in, let's see what's going on because it's inactive. At the moment, this is just a test one that I've set up. So we've got when a subscriber completes a form test, they get email one. We then wait 5 days and they get email two. So that's all working fine. I'm not going to show you how to use automations. That is all basically the same as what we've had. The only thing here that's different that I can see is that this is activate instead of the toggle on and off. So we can activate it. So if I was to add an email here, save, save. It's showing me that I've got one incomplete step because that email has no content and I haven't gone in to design it. So I'm going to delete that. So you can only activate it if it's a legit working automation. So let's come out of there. Now, previously, when you went into automations, you would come into the overview page and you would see your stats at the top. It would show you the emails your emails below, right down the bottom, and that individual stats for each email. And you would also have access to activity history, other things. Now that is in view report. So you click view report and that will take you to where you need to go. So here we go, overview. This tells you how many people have gone through it. This is all your stats. This is a test on a dummy account. So this is nothing's happening. There's no stats here. Activity. This will show you who's been in and out of those workflows. So this is something that I look at quite a bit just to make sure that people are doing what they should be doing. Sometimes I'd like to check in, but also you can re-add people to sequences. So when I'm testing, I often come in this part. And then history. History, to be honest, it basically just tells you when you've turned it off and on again. So it can be useful because you can see when you last did a change, but it doesn't tell you sort of exactly what happened. It's not a track change, but it will tell you when you've turned it off and on again. So let's go back to overview. This will probably be the main page that you want to have a look at just to see what your stats are like. And then you can just come back to your automations. You can activate it from in here and we can click activate and you get this announcement that says you're about to activate this automation. Once you do, any subscriber who meets the trigger criteria will enter the automation and all its steps. So I'm going to activate. On the old system, it would say, do you want to add all these people? Say you had it by your trigger was a group and you move people into a group, into that same group that the trigger was. So you've got let's say this trigger is when a subscriber joins a group test, and then everyone who's in that group will get the automation. If you then add people to that group test, that will trigger the automation. On the old system, you used to be able to say yes, no at a certain point. I haven't seen that crop up for this one yet, so I'm going to do some further investigation. I will report back. But basically, what I would say to you now is when you're reactivating an automation or turning it on, really just check that trigger and make sure that it's going to the right people, because you might not get that warning about groups. It's particularly important if you're adding people via group, because anyone in that group who hasn't gone through that automation will then start that automation. And if you've got any questions, add a comment, find me on Instagram, sign up to my emails, all those things. Thanks very much for listening. Ta-ra.